Okay.
You get a line, I get a pole, matey. You get a line, I get a pole, friend.
You prepare this ahead of time? You got...
Well, I actually was going to say, I realized today on a drive late at night on a back street that...
Sounds like a country song. Oh!
Well,
you weren't
funny
kidding.
you should say
Whoa,
that.
That's
funny
so weird.
You should say that.
The resolution isn't that much better, but like the 3D-ifiedness.
It very much is better. Like, way
I think
better.
the other one had good resolution, but like the 3D-ness is what I'm noticing. What? How do you know I'm here? How do you know?
He's going to tell you by...
Okay. Well, we were out of ammo.
Okay,
I thought maybe me up for failure.
Phased him into oblivion.
No, they're the guys that can do that. But like, it's the 3D-ness that is improved with this. Like the resolution... The other one had good resolution, but now this, it almost feels like it's deeper in space.
A new TV, by the way. So
yes, the abusive one's gone.
Yep. We have left our abusive relationship,
but it's interesting because it actually feels like it genuinely feels as though it's a deeper screen. Like it has a better, like when you change the perspective, it actually.
I do know that. No, what I was funny you should say that the country song, the idea that you were talking about.
So you're out of ammo on that. I'd change it.
Is I was driving and realized that Southern Gothic is a perfect listening when you are on a back street late at night driving by yourself. Like it worked fantastic. I was like, this is okay.
Oh, now he's invisible. Well, although he's gonna have to walk through those, so it's no doubt gonna deactivate.
Or he's just gonna sound like a dingus that I can...
Well, no. Don't go wasting... We have very little ammo in anything. Except that, which is the worst weapon to have for an interior fight.
Make it happen.
You can't no-scope with that. I mean, you can, but not really. They're sending in Molestro!
Molestro.
This is Molestro 2.0.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's because the dude just walked in. I told you. Now he's in here. You can't no-scope with this thing. They don't let you aim without going through the scope. They don't even show you the targeting reticule.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. Watch. It goes away. It disappears. So you have to do it beforehand and then hope he doesn't move. And then the robot
and then
will get
die
you.
Anyway because Molestro. So anyway, just food for thought. If you're ever driving on a back street alone in the dark...
I feel like anything
Southern
would work
Gothic.
in that situation. Is that just because it gives you the mood that if you died tragically, it would make a good song?
It's less that. Like, okay.
So, less that. I like how it's partly that.
It's because I was working, obviously, late at night. And so the song came on, The Wolves Away. I was like, this works.
Good one. Well, yeah, but I like that one just in general.
Well, I agree, but...
I think it fits in a lot.
It brings it a whole new light when you're driving late at night to work.
I guess, sure. How
was your week?
Not great. I'm sickish, and I don't like that.
But your personality is sickish.
I am at least armed. I thought we'd have a discussion because you brought it up last week about tea, so let's just talk about tea, because tea has been my friend this week.
Well, how fortuitous that I have happened to
so
come across
he knows exactly where I am. He's coming straight at me.
Walking with such
authority. This better be loaded. In your noodle!
What if it wasn't?
Woo!
Okay.
Oh boy. Well, Molestro doesn't know where I am.
So
not yet.
It's fortuitous that you would talk about tea because I actually I know
last time we took this guy out.
Last time I talked about a brand that has like the whole historic, tea
I thought these were doors that were opening. That spooked me.
And I'm excited about that. I haven't gotten those yet, but I'm excited about them. However, I recently, as I was kind of as a placeholder because I needed some loose leaf in the coming months as I was waiting for that particular tea brand that I was going to use. I needed something, and so I came across a tea brand that does loose leaf that specifically works in like very pure organic, like we only use... they have a Molestro up there, and he's
there's a lot of them. Oh, these are awful.
They only use like organic and pure like tea leaves and things of that nature, and it's called the Tao of Tea.
That feels like they're trying.
They definitely are. However, their product itself is fantastic. They come in little tins, and it's great. So,
no problem. There's lots of molestros.
What tea specifically have you been nursing?
It's called licorice root. It claims to be Egyptian, and I doubt that it is.
It's root.
It's licorice. No, but it's actually quite nice. It's got a lot of spices in it. And it raises a question that you might be able to answer as the resident expert.
Molestro don't like you none. He's coming.
I've confused him. Robots will always have problems with glass. I see him, but I can't get him.
In the future, if we ever have robots invade or
it's like going
take over with AI, just put them in a glass box.
In all fairness, he probably doesn't have cameras. He's probably got some kind of like sonar, which would bounce off the glass. There's been a lot of robot like developments where they can't actually see through glass because a lot of times they're not using camera scans. They're using like some kind of infrared,
I thought that
which doesn't
Tesla
go through
does
glass.
use actual camera scan.
Yeah, they have a complicated, like they use basically it's like a whole trifecta of a bunch of different things. He's coming this way too. Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Ah! That was like a horror movie. I turned around and he was there. Okay, can they open doors?
Apparently.
Since when can robots open doors? It's a short story by Isaac Asimov.
Since when can robots open doors?
But yeah, tea, it's nice. But it raises a question. Oh, this was it. This stuff. Okay, we're just in a bad way. We're in a bad way. Hey yo, up. Oh, I thought I could.
He just picked you up like a newborn babe.
I thought I could hurtle over him. I should be able to.
You should let me hold you.
But this tea stuff, it ain't got no leaves in it.
Yeah.
So it still qualifies as tea?
Technically
I
not.
always thought tea had to be at least some form of a leaf.
Correct. The stuff I drink, for instance, that red leaf that's rooibos root, it's technically not tea.
So roots, because this is all roots. It's like ginger and licorice root. It's got like orange.
There's
peel
really
and
no other
things,
designation, so I suppose typically it falls under loose leaf tea. But
because tea trees exist that produce nothing but leaves that you drink for tea.
Right. People that are like purists would say arguably it's not.
It's just a hot water infusion.
It's an infusion, yes.
Because it occurred to me as I was thinking about it, I was like, maybe so tea isn't so much a thing as much as it is like a whole genre. It's like how you could make
classification, maybe.
Well, yeah, it's like it's not so much the actual drink; it's the process of making it.
Noodle.
So wow, he had your noodle. It's like so basically, if you took any organic thing, any organic plant matter, and boil it, you've got tea.
I wonder what tobacco tea tastes like. I bet you somebody's tried it.
I bet you it's awful. Because
you think so?
I don't. This may not be true because I heard this from the kind of person who you never know if they're saying that they know this or not. But I heard that if you have to induce someone to vomit, you making them swallow actual tobacco leaves, it's like your body's instantly.
Oh, that
like,
is
nope.
true. I actually did that as a kid by accident because.
This is a story I've never heard. When were you around tobacco as a child?
When I was 8, I was in T-ball. And my coach dipped, and so at one point,
did you pick up like something you spat
I didn't know what it was. Listen,
ew.
No, I didn't. Not what he spat out.
Well, then how did you know? Did you
found
off
the
of him?
can because he had set it in the dugout at one point.
That was his problem.
It talked to something about like making you faster. And as a kid, I was like, oh, okay, well, it was weird. Like the branding was like. Straight up like something about making you faster, and I was like, that would be useful for me getting to first base or something like that. So I literally just took a big old dip of it and like put it in my mouth. Of course, I didn't know how to actually chew, and so I just put it in my mouth thinking I could swallow it, and I immediately just went blah, 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 like I couldn't spit it out fast enough.
Okay, yeah, but then that's what's weird because when you think about it, if you made
if you made tobacco,
if you made tea out of tobacco, wouldn't that just be like skipping the process of the juice?
What?
I guess you do spit out the juice. You don't swallow the juice.
Well, some people actually do. That's a whole. So
then that's
debate.
basically just home-brewed tobacco tea.
Some people actually do.
I still can't imagine it would taste good.
It doesn't. My brother said
awful.
it tastes awful. But he just
even when you chew it.
No, when you
juice.
swallow it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't imagine. Like, you could theoretically, I bet if you took some, like, smoking chips, like wood chips, you could probably make tea out of them. Like, some kind of hickory tea. I don't know that it would taste that good, but... No. So it's just, if you boil any kind of organic matter...
The next Two Nerds Jousting product, hickory tea.
I bet you someone's done it. You can make tea out of, like, dandelions and nettles.
I do actually have...
So you can probably make tea out of grass.
Chamomile is very similar to like a dandelion plant. As far as the way it looks.
You got a friend inbound. You got to pay attention to him. He's clearly
I've got the wrong gun out. No.
I bet you he's got some kind of radar because there's no other way he would know. He's probably got the same mini map we do. I think you missed him. He got you and yours, and you didn't get. Whoa! This gun's out of ammo too. You went from one empty gun to another. Don't use that in close range. The other two are the only ones that have got weapons or ammo. They are weapons. Well, he doesn't seem to grasp the camouflage. It's only really useful when far away.
He walks all the way up to you and then camos.
Yeah, he should have camoed before he came in. But then it made me think, like, I assumed the cutoff point would have to be some kind of organic water soluble. Because otherwise you wouldn't get the flavor. I was like, could you make a metal tea? Like, if you just soak nails in water, would you get some kind of like iron tea? But then it occurred to me, I was like, well, that's not water. The hot water, the reason you do that is that it would suck out some kind of something. I don't know what it is.
Cancer.
No, that wouldn't hurt you.
I'm pretty sure galvanization would certainly hurt your innards.
It wouldn't galvanize. I'm talking about like actual iron nails, not like modern nails. You probably wouldn't even taste those. Like iron, you need iron in your body. Probably not as much as you'd get from nails, but I'm just saying, would it actually impart a flavor? But I'm not sure that it would, because it'd have to be something that dissolves in water.
Well,
but then that occurred.
Have you read the
whoa,
short story Stone Soup?
Is that a short story? From who?
Yes.
It does not sound familiar.
You've never read Stone Soup?
Why would I? I've asked you a whole lot of things that you've never read. No, don't ask like I should have read this.
It's a fairly popular nursery rhyme, or nursery, story.
Yes, and I am an adult. So I'm not familiar with nursery rhymes.
I assure you, at one point in your life, you were
Yes, at a point in my life when I didn't remember them.
You didn't just pop out of your mom's womb as an adult like, I've never read a nursery rhyme. Pooey.
I also probably never read them myself. They were probably read to me, and I didn't know what was being said.
You don't remember any of the nursery rhymes you were read, though?
I don't remember anything before I was like 4.
That's strange.
No, it's not. That's a fairly typical age to start actually remembering things. Yeah. I'm glad I don't remember being 1. Feels like it'd be real boring.
Yeah.
Because I do remember, and it was.
I actually do.
1, I don't think I believe you.
Well, okay. I can describe various parts of the house that my mom and dad were living in when I was...
How long did you live there? Did you move out when you were 1 and you still remember
no, it? Was
was that your childhood house?
No, it was an apartment that they lived in when I was
But you just remember vague, geometry? Or do you actually remember, I remember being in this house?
I could describe to you exactly what the layout was. I can describe to you...
But see, that's the kind
laying on the living room floor with my little mobile. Okay, well, see,
that's an actual memory, not just I remember a space. Because sometimes you remember places you've been without actually remembering them.
What?
Well, it's like you can remember. It's sort of the deja vu thing where it's like, I know that this is a place I've been and I'm familiar with it, but I don't have an actual, I remember my 3rd birthday where I sat on that chair, and those are actual, memories.
No, Then
the Molestro didn't come around this time, so I'm just going to assume I'm lucky.
It's because you haven't walked through the lasers. Molestro doesn't know you're there until the lasers.
Yeah, but these guys have special things in them.
Oh, does it turn it off?
Yeah, these guys can walk through them without deactivating them. So as long as you drag a corpse... Oh, dang it! Who saw me? The camera probably saw me doing that.
Over there, right there.
We got a corpse dragger.
Eye. Look up. Look.
No, that would be a tremendous.
It's a Horus. It's...
No, I don't think that's a camera. I think that's...
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it looks very much like Horus.
Well, no, because that's a triangle. And it doesn't have any of the normal features.
Well,
I'm assuming it was the camera in that room that just went, we got a corpse moving. That would make an excellent surveillance camera.
There's a corpse here.
Especially if it moved. Like, that would be just... Have it actually be a lens that moved around. That You'd walk in, see it do that, and I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm not robbing these people. I'm getting out. No, Malestro.
He's just standing there ominous.
He's looking the other way. Don't mind me, Malestro. I'm just taking a souvenir. Come along, Jeffrey. Hey, I didn't try this last time. Ha 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 ha. Close it. There we go. Ha ha.
So,
I win.
Anyway,
so
yes,
wood tea is what we're going to try next.
Technical answer is that no,
it's not tea
it
unless
has to be a leaf.
But then what's the... Ooh, okay.
I
this
don't
is
know
the
what
worst
the other
vent.
designation is.
Well, a hot infusion, I suppose, would count, but that would be dumb.
What it actually is? Because I mean,
well, here's something that'll blow your mind.
Red leaf is a great example.
By that definition, coffee is tea. There's no coffee versus tea because coffee is just bean tea, which makes you wonder what other kind of beans could you turn into tea. If you took some black beans and roasted them and made them into tea, what would that taste like? Because I actually like black beans, but I'm not sure the resulting mixture would be something I'd be down with. This is not a helpful vent. I thought it would be, but like all I could do is take some pot shots, and then they'd know it was me, and then the game would be up.
No, I know what that is. That's stupid.
Ah, crap! Alright, so they are observant. They do actually look up. I didn't even get to take a shot. I mean, I should have guessed that the guy would see me do that, but... Well, that's dumb. So anyways, yeah, bean tea is
Reeves is an herb native to South Africa and isn't even a true quote-unquote tea. Rather, the plant is harvested and dried. It can be brewed into a reddish... so herbal infusion. That's what they're called.
Well, but it's not an herb. It's a spice. It's just a spice. No, it's a root.
I said it was a root.
The difference between spices and herbs are the same thing, except herbs are leaves and spices are roots.
Well, then it's... Okay. All I'm saying is it's saying it's an herb that is native to South Africa. But
herbs are leaves, so why wouldn't it qualify as a tea?
It's not a leaf.
But it's not a tea leaf. It doesn't come from a tea tree. Oh, well then then it is a spice.
So it's a spice, sure.
Because if it comes, that's like cinnamon is a spice because it's actually bark. It's like it's
exactly.
the wood
That's
of the
what
tree.
This is essentially. It's called. Some people call it honey bush or red bush, but
that sounds like something you would call your sweetheart. if you were a little bit odd.
Honey bush.
So I gave away the game, and now they know I'm here, and I've ruined everything.
So there you go.
So that was that.
Well, then, what is coffee then?
Coffee's got to be a kind of tea.
No.
Well, no, not by this definition. I suppose it's another herbal or... Well, it's a bean. So...
It's a berry. The berries harvested from the spice.
That is true. I remember hearing that technically. It's one of those facts like tomatoes being fruit. Coffee's technically a berry. Because it's actually you crack them open and then the seed is the thing that's the coffee bean. But then by that, so it would be technically it's a fruit tea.
It's coffee and infusion.
Coffee is a fruit-based tea. You heard it here, folks.
There may be some confusion here as the difference between infusion.
Have you heard the joke that a vanilla
method.
Soy latte is really just a 3-bean soup? A very thin 3-bean soup.
That's funny.
Bring your pretty face to my crosshairs.
Yeah,
he ducked! He's clever! Not that clever, though. Well, not quite clever. Who? Oh,
immersion.
Did I get him?
What?
Well, no,
so the
because
problem
you
is there are
pass
different
water
types
through coffee. You don't soak it. I wondered if that would make a difference, but I don't think it would.
Well...
Because I bet you
it depends on the type of the way you brew it. Because there's infusion,
would be soaking,
percolating, which is
pouring.
There's where is it?
Well, technically, percolating is when it actually cycles itself.
Right.
Like you start with water, and then the coffee that you make from that ends up bubbling back up, and you're making coffee. That's why percolated coffee is always awful. It's literally coffee made with other coffee.
I used to have a tea pot that I actually ended up getting rid of because
I've been stealing a whole bunch of terms while you do that. I hope you know that.
That's fine. Sorry.
You were taking too long.
When I get into when I first got into tea, I had this teapot that would percolate it. It would literally
teas
recycle
are
it until
finicky about I can't be brewed for more than 8 seconds.
Totally agree. And
if you breathe on me too hard, I'll burn.
And so what happened was I felt like I didn't like tea for the longest time, and then I ended up getting rid of that and got a proper loose leaf brewer, which essentially allows me to strain out the tea leaves as I pour it out, it is fantastic if you actually pay attention to the
that's what
temperatures
I wonder, though, is
and
because
all that
coffee
stuff.
you make by pouring hot water through it rather than soaking it.
Yeah, but there's all sorts of rules about coffee too, though.
But I imagine if you took a sensitive tea that you couldn't steep for very long, that would probably
like a white
work.
tea.
Yeah, if you just did the pour over method, then it would only have very limited contact.
Right, which is the idea for white tea.
So coffee is just tea. So who sees it? Who sees me do it?
It's the all-seeing eye, I'm telling you.
I bet you that is a camera system. I mean, it's a great one, too.
You just looked at his crotch.
Well, it was there.
You lingered.
I have to hold X to make them grab. I have to hold as long as the X button needs to be held. He's not moving. So I remember. So if I get up into the vent and don't make a fool of myself, that strategy would have worked. This does seem awfully villainous.
Is it not?
It's an interesting statue, but it just seems obvious.
How so?
Well, we control the whole world in our hands, our corrupted, dying hands.
Is that?
That's what I imagine the point of it. It's a floating globe in a fist.
They are a totalitarian conglomerate, though, are they not?
Well, I suppose, but would you advertise that so blatantly? I mean, I suppose if this is their headquarters and nobody but insiders would be here. Maybe they're just yeah, we all know we're evil. It's like Hydra. So anyways, what other kind of weird existential conflicts can we have with coffee?
The question is that the case with Masons?
The Freemasons?
Yeah, you
I
wonder...
thought you were talking about tea things.
No.
What would leather tea taste like? Because I said organic matter.
Okay, now you're getting into... You could crap into a cup and put some water in it and call that tea.
Well, you theoretically could. It would just be real gross tea.
No, it would be sewage.
Sewage. So we have at least learned that it has to have a leaf in it to be a tea.
Yeah, but there's poop that has leaves in it.
No, there's... Well, cow poop...
I'm sorry, we're not gonna
cow poop tea would probably taste better than human poop tea.
Funny enough...
Low bar, but counts.
In Montana, they actually use cow poop to. It's like they use it.
Dang it! He sees it
as a type of almost like pellets for a pellet stove to smoke. They use that as a flavor.
But it's got nitrogen in it, so that would make sense.
How so?
Well, I don't know. But I know
He's trying to make sense of Montana.
Well, because I know that that's why you use it for fertilizer. Is it's actually got heavy concentrations of, I think it's nitrogen. I don't know why you'd want that in smoking, but I imagine it wouldn't taste like the poop. It would probably taste like whatever you're steaming out of the poop. I don't know why. Leather and feces are at least a couple steps apart. I don't know why you jump from one to the other.
Well, Maybe I'll just say I feel like leather would taste awful.
Oh, I'm sure it would, but there's stories of people back in in the frozen tundra. It's well, we ran out of food, so we ate our boots. It's well, I'm sure you could do that, and it's theoretically got protein in it, but that all the accounts say that it's awful. If anything, tea is probably better than just eating it raw. It'd be the worst jerky you've ever had.
I'm pretty sure that's what the Donner Party said, too.
That's the only time you've made that joke that it's been awful and true.
What are you talking about? I pull that joke out?
You pulled that joke more than once.
No, I do not.
You have, at least to me.
Maybe not.
That's right up there with the how Houdini died thing. It's just one of those things you can say and throw people off. Where's he at? He's invisible. Oh, he's not.
He's just standing there capping you.
Well, that means they know I'm here.
I feel like there's more, like, so I know that by technical terms it has to be a leaf. By non-technical terms,
but does it have to be a tea
sort
tree
of,
leaf? Like if you made it out of a flower, like jasmine's a flower.
But that's
it's
technically
called tea.
tea, yeah.
Or is it? Or maybe is it just a flower infusion?
Well, it's possible it's an infusion. I know, again, by some tea purist, it does have to be an actual tea tree. But
that's where I think it's all silly.
But then, where do you draw that distinction? Because then coffee, essentially, coffee is just such a popular tea that it became its own thing. Similar
Basically.
to like chai.
Well, but chai is just black tea with spices in it.
Right, that's what I mean.
And that's what got me down the rabbit trail, is I always assumed chai was like it was from some bizarre leaf. But it's just black tea that you put a bunch of spices in. And I was like, well, does that... And then I thought, was it like, as long as it has a leaf, you can put whatever spice in it and it's still tea.
Which is
But then
true.
But then this stuff I've been drinking is no leaves and it's just spices. So it's not tea.
It's an infusion.
That's why I don't get involved in none of this. It's all silly.
And
But it does help when you got a crappy throat.
And
I don't know if I sound any different. I feel like I do, but I'm not sure.
It's lower, that's
Do
all.
I
That's what
have,
happened
do
to
I
me,
have
too.
the TV voice?
The TV voice?
In a world. That actually hurt. Never mind. I don't have the TV voice.
You got... I don't know. That sounded more like...
Hi.
I can't think of who that sounded like.
Buddy holds the... Ah, you suck!
I know that your dad sounds like Eeyore.
What?
Did you hear him when he was talking with the...
Well, okay,
Horse
when you...
voice?
Yeah, I don't...
No, I'm talking like Dead Ringer for Eeyore. He did the...
I didn't think...
Nobody cares. And it was like...
Okay, there's only one of you left. I don't have grenades. I mean, I have one, but it's the EMP. I need to save it.
When my throat starts going and I lose my voice, I can sing Bing Crosby songs very well.
Okay, then that's interesting. You can't do it any other time?
Well, no, because typically his voice is far more
Hey,
thick
there's more of these.
than mine.
Well, that's true.
So when mine sounds like a smoker, I can pull it off.
Probably sound like Bryan Adams perfectly. Oh, that's not the way to go. Why would I... Oh, this probably leads all the way back to the entrance. I didn't even have to... Well, that might be good to know next time. Although I think we've already passed a save point.
Anywho.
What other horrible things can you make out of tea? So that answers the joke, because there was a joke in The Martian that he talks about how he tried to make tea out of potato skins, and the less said about it, the better. But that would not count as a tea, because that would just be a vegetable infusion.
Which would be awful.
Well, yeah, that's the joke. It's like...
You
I thought I could at least get a double shot.
Invited your...
I got one shot while I was in the downward, and I thought if I can get one more, I could probably get it. He did. He acclimatized real quick to that. Normally, if someone pops out of a vent, you wouldn't be like, ha-ha! There'd be a second of like, what? Where did you come from?
Why are you doing a downward dog?
I suppose these guys are highly trained. Nothing surprises them. You could pop out of the toilet they just used, and they'd be like, aha!
Fun fact on a history level, did you know
Fun fact, toilets are traversable.
What? No. Well, I'm sure some of them were back in Rome, maybe.
I don't think they were that big. Not for a whole person.
Not that.
But not for a whole
complex.
person to get in. Now, there's a vent somewhere on that wall or something.
Which wall?
I don't know.
That's very helpful.
I'm saying from inside the vent, you could see that the vent leads all the way out here, so you just got to find out where it is. Relestro doesn't come around anymore. That was the introduction to since when can robots open doors? That's the first line. Molestro doesn't come around very much anymore. Well, they made it look like there was a vent.
The best of Molestro is the worst of Molestro. Okay. Where...
Well, I mean... You wouldn't even have to change that quote much. I was apparently wrong. I was wrong about the vent, so just grab a corpse and sneak on through.
Do I seriously have to grab a corpse?
Well, you don't strictly.
Grab a corpse,
because in all fairness, they seem to get hostile no matter what you do. Yeah, see? Oh, they went back to suspicious. That's interesting.
Okay.
See, there you go. So once you get in here, they know you're hostile anyways.
I just committed to dragging the body, and they were like, "Oh, maybe he works here. He's just helping Dan out."
Well, you never know. You always hear stories about those. That would be a fascinating job, the like corporate infiltrators, who literally are like the security contractors who people hire to see how easy is it to break through our security systems. You hear some.
It's so easy. Dan just got shot.
You hear some weird stories about like one guy said the secret is to always have a spare lanyard. And he said one time, literally all I did is I grabbed a dolly, which I had in my truck. I took some old computer parts, carried them on the dolly, and just walked into their server room. And because I had a lanyard, which was the only security requirement, it's like he said that the secret was I had to pretend like something was stuck, so someone held the door for him. It's like, hey, do you need a hand? And then they helped him in, so he didn't actually have to scan the lanyard. He just had it. And so once he was in, everyone assumed he got in legally. Because all the security that they had was like the little lanyard. It's like, I'm just hauling computer parts on a dolly. The people, I'd use the... see, they look! You missed your chance. Once you open it, they're observant fellas. Nothing get past them. Oh. And apparently they really like to use that Invisa stuff.
And they're crack shots.
Let's think of something obscure you could make tea out of that would be secretly good. Because that's... Apparently leather and wood are the obvious bad ones, but I'm saying...
Well, wood isn't necessarily, I mean...
I don't think it would taste good. I could imagine adding... Like, if you made your own tea, I could imagine having wood chips in a tea of other flavors to add, like, an earthiness. But I think if you just soaked wood in tea, I don't think that would be very good. I mean, it might have a sort of sap-like flavor, which maybe that would be fine, but that would have to be a living piece of wood at that point.
I feel like that'd be worse.
Well, maybe. That's true, because sap isn't always that sweet if it's not processed.
Well, that's certainly true.
Well, then who knows?
It's fairly bitter.
I don't know. You don't have any...
My thing is, who makes those designations? I mean, like... who
I
decided,
imagine...
this is a spice
Well, see,
versus
I
a
imagine
root
that those kind of things, I think, are modern inventions.
What, tea?
No, just those kinds... I don't think people used to be that nitpicky.
Well,
I think it was like, we took this off a tree, we boiled it, and it tastes good, so we call it tea. That was exactly what the Chinese man said to the British the first time they had it.
So you think coffee theoretically could have been tea?
I think, well... The fact that it has to be roasted first might make a difference, because if you just drank straight coffee from straight beans, they would be...
Rooibos has to be roasted too.
Well, then it's a coffee. Rooibos is coffee. So the whole hostile thing means the lasers are pointless, because that doesn't actually trigger anything. So at least I can take a couple pot shots before they notice me. That's interesting then. Well, then I don't know. Coffee, maybe... I think maybe the fact that they already had tea for such a long time before coffee was discovered, because I think it's a native South American thing. But I could be wrong about that. I don't know.
Well, like I said, though, I feel like maybe it just got so prolific that it became its own thing, almost like Kleenex.
Yeah, but I don't know that that's true, because technically, by that same logic, hot chocolate is a form of coffee, because it's also a bean.
Well, that
you have to process first.
True.
Well, exactly, but it's like I think the fact that those
is it a similar category of flavors? Like, is that kind of what it is?
No, because I feel like they're all pretty wildly different.
Yeah, but consistency-wise, teas tend to be fairly...
No, there's fruity ones, there's herbal ones, there's bitter ones, there's sweet ones. I mean, I would drink them and think this is a different drink, certainly.
But coffee has a very distinct...
Well, but I also think it's a different process, so I imagine, and lump with... Stop moving. Lump in with that fact. I want to be able to... Oh, did they not see me do that? I thought I made myself very obvious, but apparently I didn't. I think, I could be wrong, I thought coffee was something that was native to South America, and it wasn't discovered until, well, I mean, obviously it was discovered by them, but it wasn't brought back to Europe until after it was discovered, and so by then tea was already a thing, so they thought this is a new thing, whereas maybe if it had been discovered at the same time, they would call it something. I don't know. Okay, so apparently they didn't see me come out of the vents.
I'm just saying chocolate has a very distinct flavor.
Well, not really. The actual original recipes for the hot cocoa, like that the Aztecs drank, it was like, they say it was bitter and horrible because cocoa, the actual nut, is awful.
Well, it's more like baking chocolate.
No, not even. It's like the darkest of dark baking of cocoa powders. Like, if you've ever had 100% cacao cocoa powder, non-sugar or nothing, it's like the bitterest thing you've ever eaten. It's horrid. That's why they add sugar and milk to chocolate before they actually turn it into chocolate, because otherwise it's really gross. That's why I don't like dark chocolate.
I'm the kind of person that likes like 98% dark chocolate.
Yeah, but even that 2% is like
That's
pure
true.
sugar.
That's true.
So it's not like the raw chocolate, especially if you just imagine soaking it in water. It's like they say it was really awful. At least the accounts of the recipes of like when they first tried to recreate it. Now they've all gone away. Oh, except you.
That's essentially what this particular brand, the other one that I was talking about.
They go into all of this. This wouldn't qualify as tea because
they go into historic.
This is a form of
historic
coffee.
Brewing types and blends and things of that nature. So,
well, they would answer all of our questions.
They probably would.
I can see he's up on the balcony, but I'm. Don't look at me.
The whole hot chocolate actually originally being like hot is actually true.
Spicy, yeah. They used to put other stuff in it too.
Mexican chocolate is still like that.
Yeah, I can imagine it, but it would have to be sweet too.
Yeah, it is.
Like just spicy, bitter, gross. I'm like, no, that sounds
spicy,
awful.
Bitter, gross.
But I can imagine if you put in some spice into hot chocolate, it's like I can see how that would be good. I think I may have solved our issues.
What else is great? Wow.
I know Jim Gaffigan beat me to it, but it's too good a joke not to repeat. Well, see, sometimes it just doesn't work.
Have you had wassail before?
Wassail?
Wassail.
The bread?
No. Not at all.
Isn't there a thing called wassail bread? I thought it was like one of those super keto... It's like bread, but it's really mostly just a big cracker. I thought it was called something like that.
Maybe.
My mom used to eat it back. It's like one of those old school diet foods.
Oh no, I'm talking wassail's another word for like cider, but it's like
where did
he come from?
He was standing directly below the vent and was looking straight up at it. He didn't even turn. So clearly, you can only pick off a couple guys, and then you're going to have to pick another strategy because they're going to get wise eventually.
It's like a well-oiled machine wound too tight.
What?
It's just these guys seem a little bit like.
Was that from something?
No, just saying.
Why'd you put on a voice?
Seems like they go home to their wives and just. You're probably one of them, aren't you? So he holds a knife to the.
It's the Truman Show up in here. Who are you talking to?
What in the hell does this have to do with anything? Oh, I love that movie.
It's weird how Jim Carrey has made the weirdest movies I've ever seen, and also two of actually some of my favorite, like, deep, quite serious movies. The camera's gonna see you do this. I mean,
I thought I was hiding behind the body.
Dave's moving and he's dead. The ants are getting him. Well, I'm astonished that works.
From the new Indiana Jones, the more modern one, when he's like
the Shia LaBeouf one that's not real.
No, exactly. But there's that line in it that's like, "What the heck are those big damn ants?"
What?
Do you not remember that part?
I've never watched that. The only thing I remember of that film is the awful refrigerator sequence.
Awful refrigerator.
That's the only part I remember seeing on TV, and that's because MythBusters proved how stupid it is.
Well, I don't think What? Why did that happen?
You're clicking the container, not the vent.
I want to move the.
I wasn't sure actually how talking may actually help me get some of this gunk out because I've been rather mute the past week because of discomfort. But I think the tea in associated with the exercise is going to get me. I'm going to hack up a lung by the second episode.
Okay. Can you please
I don't think the vent is your problem because it's hidden by the box.
Well,
the only way someone would see the vent is open is if they moved the box. Anyways. Well, we got a whole lot more mileage out of that than I thought we would. I was thinking that would be a gag. What if you made paper tea?
I feel like that would be...
That would just be like paper mache.
Spitball.
Well, yeah.
Just drinking
especially because modern paper is actually got a whole bunch of chemicals in it.
They're already like...
No, if you open that, he would definitely notice. They know you're here because the security guy went, Bob's body's moving on its own. So they know someone's here, but if you open that, they will notice it. So you have to wait until they're not looking.
Or just pop the guy that's gonna look, right?
Well, but there's going to be more than one probably, so I'd like do him while he's turned around.
Do him.
Except the guys on the balcony. You would have maybe used a long-range weapon for it. You and shotguns. I don't recommend you ever get a shotgun because you seem to think they're just effective from any range.
That was the rifle at the very least.
It was the shotgun.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was the assault rifle.
You'll be up on the sniper barracks with a shotgun going, let me at him! Get a big scope on it. Better yet, I imagined you duct tape like a pirate's what are they called? Not the magnifying glass, but like they had a name, spyglass. Just duct tape that to the top of a sawed-off shotgun and just.
Oh, it's Molestro.
Yes, I'd get out of there. I think you've milked this strategy fully dry.
Cat Molestro.
Well, yes, but I don't think we have.
I'm gonna go in a different way.
Well, yes, I'd recommend that now that this strategy's blown a hole through it, but. You can kill those robots, but they're rather difficult.
You gotta adjust your strategy, because now it's got a big hole through it.
I don't think we have the firepower needed to kill those robots effectively. I think it would drain every bullet we had.
And still leave me widowed.
I don't think you're married.
Molestro is secretly my...
Well, then you wouldn't be widowed. He'd be widowed. He'd be widowed by his own hand. Anyways, tea. Never would have. I didn't think that was going to last that long. If you made tea out of meat.
I'm juicing.
It's gravy at that point, I'm pretty sure. I am fascinated by those kinds of distinctions because that is true. There's a whole tree.
There's a whole tree that becomes tea.
Like, if you actually study, like, the culinary school type teaching that they go through.
Well, yeah, there's then, like, math.
Where it's like how if you start with, if you start shooting at random boxes. That didn't attract any attention, apparently. But it's like if you mix oil and flour, that's a roux, but then if you add milk to it, it's a... Oh, what is it called? I used to know all of them because it's a weird. And it's like if you add milk, it becomes this, and then if you add eggs to that, it becomes a custard.
Soup,
Molestro,
custard.
you're ruining the plot.
Soup, custard.
What is it? No, because it's
stew.
A roux that you add milk to is called a bechamel. That's what it is. And then if you add eggs to a bechamel, you get a custard. And if you add cheese to that, there's like a name for it when it's got a cheese sauce. If you add sugar to a custard, it becomes a creme anglaise or something stupid. It's like, it's all just if you add this to this, then it becomes a whole new thing. It knows! It knows!
Molestro sneaks up on you, you become...
Dead.
You become...
I think he's gotten himself stuck.
A lawn ornament.
He can shoot over the top of the couch. I don't know why. This is a titanium couch, apparently. No! Ring around the sofa. Molestro's... leaving, apparently.
He's like, I'm tired of this crap.
I'm out of here, you amateurs. Well, I don't think this changes the strategy much. So yeah, I just find those kinds of weird things fascinating. So theoretically, if you made tea out of meat, it would be a form of gravy, I think.
Well, I mean, those kinds of designations really then are everywhere as far as that's the difference between like a hoagie versus a hero versus
no, those are different. Those come from different. That's like just it's two cultures' version of a sandwich.
Is that a fact? I thought that, like, for instance, the sub is cold versus...
Yeah, but there's warm subs. You can get a toasted sub. Like a meatball sub. That's still called a sub.
Is that... Well...
It's just a hero is just a Greek sandwich, effectively, because they took bread, filled it with their version of meat. And then you go to New York, you take bread and fill it with their version of meat, and it's like, it's... Multiple cultures invent the same thing at the same time.
In this? It's our version of meat.
Well, no, I don't think that would count.
Well, I mean...
Well, I suppose the sandwich doesn't have to have meat, so I suppose if you put any two things between bread, it could count as a sandwich.
Yeah, but would it be a hero? Or would it be a hoagie?
I mean, a hero, I think, is also dependent on the kind of meat you put into it.
I always thought it was about the bread. Like, hoagie, I feel like, is more like Italian versus... sub is
well,
like...
no, hoagie is not strictly Italian. It's just a sandwich bread. Hoagie is a New York thing. That's an Italian-American thing. Ain't no Italians making hoagies. Like, unless they're in a deli in New York.
Got the frosted bread bowl, just like a Mama Domino used to make.
Oh, where'd you go? I do see you. Pal.
Oh, he's gonna blow your chin hairs
like,
clean off your face.
I'm pretty sure, maybe this isn't a 50 cal, but it looks like it. And I'm pretty sure you get hit anywhere with a 50 cal, you're dead. That's what a lot of the special ops guys say, at least.
That guy wants to shave.
It's like, you don't have to get hit in a delicate spot with the 50 cal to die from the 50 cal. It's like, you could get hit in the hand and it would rip your hand off and then you'd bleed out and die and then the 50 cal killed you. I mean, maybe that's just maybe those are the...
What's the I wasn't asking. The whole... All right, come off now. I feel like the 50 cal is like the equivalent of... Basically. Can't be tied if you're liquid.
That's basically what it does to you from what I hear.
Well, even my cousin had a 308 and at one point, and we went out shooting and
308.
It was
380.
No.
Oh, you mean a 30-8? Like a 30,
yeah.
Those are called that. That always confuses me.
And
because like 30-06 makes sense because it's 30-06, but 308 is meaning the 30-8. I'm like, you should call it something else because there's also a 308. Oh no, it's the 380. That's the handgun caliber.
Right, that's the small little tiny kind that doesn't do jack.
See, I'm not one of those weirdos who's like, you don't. I feel like there's a whole lot of weird broiness in the gun YouTube spheres.
No, I'm not. Okay, let me clarify. I'm not suggesting they're useless.
Get that ammo.
Yeah, I'm actually,
get that ammo. Get that ammo.
Where?
It was behind. He left 2 shotguns behind. 2 of them for you. Because I'm just like, if you shoot someone with, if you're a good shot, it doesn't matter what the caliber is, you're going to kill them.
I'm not one of those people that say you must have a particular stopping power caliber.
What you're saying 380 doesn't do nothing.
Ballistically, 380's trash. That's just a fact.
Yeah, but would you want to get shot with one?
No. In fact, the 22 of all calibers does a significant amount of damage because it bounces around in there. So I'm not at all a dude bro that's like, you got to have a 45 at least or not.
You're saying the things that dude bros say.
Like what?
Like the 308 ain't worth trash or the 380 ain't worth trash.
Well...
Because I assure you, if you hit someone well with a 380, you're gonna solve your problem.
I agree. I'm not arguing.
See, guy on the, I'd go for him because no one else can see you. Except him. I didn't think he would look. They're just eagle-eyed. I mean, whatever temp agency they're getting their goons from.
Their goons from.
Call up Goons R Us and say, man, you guys have got some great service.
My goodness, you got some good goons.
He's got
a thing. It's
I'm a customer for life.
It's like
camo masks. They look around a lot. They're good. I thought you were going to say they're goons.
No.
Well, okay, you gave up on that. I think you only took down one guy. There's 3 of them in there.
I didn't realize you took him down.
Wait, so you thought I was just going to barge in?
Yeah, I thought maybe let's try a Guns A-Blazing strategy.
I tried to tell you, Guns A-Blazing, this is not the game that Guns A-Blazing works, and we're on hard difficulty, so it really doesn't work.
All I'm saying is...
If you soak cotton in water, is it tea?
Wow, you're still on that. If you soak 380 in tea.
Well, I'm just saying, because cotton comes from a plant, so it is technically something you could make tea out of. I bet if you took cotton leaves and tried to make tea out of them, I wonder what that would taste like. I have no clue.
Trash.
Well, it might, but you never know.
You ever smelled one of those cotton-smelling candles? That's what it would taste like. I
have never done that, so no is the answer. Have you done this?
Yes, cotton candles are a thing because people like the scent that's like clean and whatever else. It smells very much like a laundry detergent.
So if you took a dryer sheet, if you sucked on the outlet pipe of your dryer, what? You'd get cotton tea.
Or you could just get cotton mouth.
Probably that too.
Anyway, what I was saying with the 308 is that my cousin...
Seriously, I just imagining we hold the whole world In our hands we hold the whole world.
That's what they sing at the morning meetings.
That's their anthem.
Except you gotta sing it like a goon.
You
got me and this other guy in their hands.
That sounds awfully creepy. That sounds borderline brainwashy.
That's the point.
You're going to die. Nope. Ah, you didn't step far enough. Dang it.
Man.
Hey,
No,
I don't know if
he
any
shot
gun
a log that was
loads
ahead
with
of us, and it literally just obliterated it. So it really doesn't. I mean, I'm not the person that suggests it. That caliber doesn't do much or anything like that. What I'm
Despite the fact
saying
that
is,
you just said that 10 minutes ago.
no, I'm not. Okay, let me clarify.
Well, you gotta change your words. Those words are what your words
was
were.
Ballistics. I didn't
You
say
said it doesn't do
a
jack.
3080 couldn't kill anybody. That's not what I
You
said.
said it doesn't do jack, which killing somebody would count as jack.
Okay.
You kill a guy named Jack.
So maybe I will clarify then. A 380
Will kill a guy named Jack.
Will kill a guy, but it certainly will not obliterate a log.
Well, yeah, but neither will a 9mm.
No, but a 308 will.
Well, yes, but so would a Barrett 50. That was how this all started. It was me
Yes,
saying...
but you confused a 308 with a 380. Those are pretty big gaps.
Well, no, you'd switch two letters around. Dyslexics do it all the time.
Sure, but ballistically, a dyslexic's gonna have a bad time.
Wow. That's awfully ableist of you.
Wow.
Get over here. Oh, I got him in the jugular. He's gonna bleed out.
Using a 380.
He's a confirmed kill. He just hasn't dropped yet. All right, where you at, pal?
So, Patman. Let's unpack that.
Well, unpack it or just the
'Cause I'm
rumor? Because it is
excited
nothing but a rumor.
Well, but rumors...
And it's not coming out for like years.
Arguably, I think that that's actually how producers decide their next topic. They just let the fans start faffing on stuff.
Well, that's actually... I thought you were going to say just let them... They were going to leak an idea and see how fans react and then see... But they could...
What I'm saying is I think they
You think they just make it...
I think they just keep their ears to the ground like, oh, that's what the fans want. All right.
Well, I would hope so, at least. Come on now.
But that can actually be a disservice, as proven by Disney.
No, because I don't think they're listening to the majority of people. They're listening to the shriekers that all live in Hollywood. If they actually listen to, like, what do fans actually want? Like, well, real people?
Real people.
Not like people who subsist off of Twitter alone. I'm doing better with this strategy.
I made the mistake of talking about my...
made the mistake of talking.
My minimalist technological choices to the Starbucks guy, and he looked at me like I was from Mars.
I'm sure, yeah, because he is. That's the secret. You mean you don't live in a consumerist dystopia like me?
You mean you don't live in this
You're not
box?
willing to spend $10 on a piece of crap bean soup? Next thing you got to do is come in there and tell him that coffee is tea. see what he'll do to him then. His whole worldview will explode.
Did you know that Pete's Tea actually used to be in partnership with Starbucks?
I thought we were continuing to riff on things we'll talk to the Starbucks guy about. I was like, why would you say that to him? No, I'm doing better. I need to not die. I don't know that I knew this. I also don't know that I care much about what Starbucks...
Well, I'm just saying that could be because...
I drink neither of those products, so... I thought we were talking about Batman.
Yes.
It seems that the fan name for him is going to be Pat Bat, which
no
works, but I think
Batman is better.
Yeah, but the problem is Patman, I have to acknowledge, it's not as clear because if you're talking, it sounds you could very easily be confused for just saying Batman. So if you're depending on who you're talking to, unless someone knows that that's the terminology, they would probably just assume you said Batman. Funnily. Like, when people say Batfleck, we know what we're talking about. But if you say Patman, people might be like, do you mean Batman?
Yeah, but Bat sounds stupid.
Or Pattinson Man, but that's just too much. We came up with...
Hello, SpongeBob. I am Bat Bat.
Well, we called him Pattinson Man first, but that just feels clunky.
Did we?
Yeah, we called him Pattinson Man, and then it was Patman, because it shortened it. I think I have succeeded, so I'm going to save. Hey. I'm out of my juice. Hang on.
Anywho, I'm excited for it because, again, according to speculation,
Very hearsay-ish.
unverified speculation,
Very much unverified.
there's a possibility that Mr. Freeze is at least in discussion.
I don't even know where that rumor is coming from, though. That's what makes me unsure, because it's not like there's a trailer or anything. So I have absolutely no clue where people are getting that impression.
From some Comic-Con person that has a fan fiction.
I'm an alien all of a sudden. Whoa! Look how much they hated me.
What does that mean?
Look at what they were trying. Oh.
They were trying to just cut a hole in the wall. If we keep shooting, here he comes.
No.
Don't square up with him. He's about to show you why he's an OG. He's gonna.
I don't think he can.
He's checking you.
No! I almost called him Patbot, and I don't know where that came from.
Patbot.
I don't think he can go upstairs. I do have only one of these, and there's two of these robots about.
That's the one weakness of robots. Did you see that Honda robot that tried to go up the stairs?
Come on. I don't think I got it. I don't think I got it at all. Screw you! That was my only EMP grenade. Actually, you know what? I might as well let you kill me. I saved. So all you have to do is use the EMP grenade on Patbot. Technically, a molestation bot could be called Patbot.
Wow! Now I'm just getting massive Tickle Me Elmo vibes. Like,
oh my. That would be the worst noise.
as he's just blasting your face away.
I can't do a good Elmo voice now because my voice is all awful, but...
Let's go good.
La, 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 la.
I love
Elmo's world.
Wow. I want you to introduce me to your noodle. Yay! Look at that guy. He's seen some things.
Wow. My Patbot.
Where's he at?
He's behind you.
What? I thought I could sneak through that backside, but apparently not. That's what
Patbot's thinking.
That's what Molestro thought too. There's a hobnob in the back passage.
Oh man. Anyways, we've said nothing because nothing's confirmed. I would love to see Freeze in the new Batman.
He has never.
It makes sense because
people
the fact that they're
clearly
clearly doing lesser known. I mean, Riddler's very well known, but he's never been a solo villain. He's only ever been a kind of sidekick villain because nobody really takes him seriously.
Patman is the only time I've ever seen Riddler actually have some.
Well, and seems scary.
Yeah.
From what I gather, there's comics where Riddler's actually much more menacing and psychopathic, rather than just like
but
zany.
then at that point, isn't he just like a rebranded Joker?
No, because he's not. Joker, if anything, is actually usually the more. Joker is he's always kooky no matter what he does. It's just that sometimes he's more scarily kooky. Whereas Riddler seems to only ever be genuine threat and psychopath or non-threatening zany weirdo. Whereas Joker seems like the pretty stable in the middle where it's like, yes, he's always a threat, but he's also always weird. Whereas Riddler's either weird and not a threat or a threat and not as weird. Not in the kooky sense of weird. Obviously, he's weird.
He's kooky and he's spooky, but really not as, I don't know.
Effective. So it's entirely. I would love to see that because
You're such a villain.
well, you got there in the end. So, there you be. Eat this, rapist.
Wow. Like he came through the door, pimps and whores.
I don't know why that came to my mind. It was as if I wanted vengeance for my past lives. Oh man, that was weird and hilarious. Oh boy,
I don't know what came over me.
Oh, righty.
The spirit of the goat.
What?
Do you remember the?
Yes, but that didn't have anything to do with that. I don't think. Okay, so are we clear now? Have we cleared everything? I should save again. Oy. Well. So freeze. Yeah, it's only ever. Well, that's not. He's been played most famously by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And a lot of people are going to be like, "He did great." I'm not.
He did great if you don't take Batman seriously.
Yeah,
but he actually does appear in Gotham. I don't know how much, but apparently in a later season than we got to, which is why I'd like to give that another try. I just. Maybe with a newer understanding, I won't have as high expectations. Because Gotham, we already talked about it. It started great, and then it fell way apart. But I hear that it's still good in the later seasons.
Of Fish Mooney's disease.
Well, more or less, yeah. There we go. Now we're good.
Bottom line is,
but I hear people still
stay away
saying
from Fish Mooney.
That it's good in later seasons again. So maybe it gets better. Maybe it gets back on its track. But I just don't want to spend like a whole bunch of time getting there.
What happened is somewhere in season 2,
the writers had a stroke.
The writers literally caught Fish Mooney's disease through their writing.
Where am I?
What's happening to my hand? It's moving by itself.
Oh, is this a security computer? Oh, Jaden Smith. What are you doing working here? This is going to be hard. Oh, maybe not. Well, I guess we'll have to see. Could be. Ah, it's hard. It's hard. It's very hard. I'm nuking it. No! I wasted my nukes. Oh, that's dumb. I could hunt around until I get the password for this, but I don't know that I have that much patience. So anyways, I would be in favor of that, naturally, because Mr. Freeze... It seems the common thread, though, that people say Mr. Freeze has never gotten a good representation, aside from the animated series.
Because I would argue he's an anti-hero. He's not a villain. Well,
that's basically the route the animated series takes with him, which is why I actually was interested a while back in, like... Because I'm curious about getting into the Batman comics, but because there's so many, I'm like, what you should focus on, like, a specific element of it. At least that's what people say.
You have to follow one
if you're a fan of Batman,
way.
Find, like, okay, because it's such a wide pool, be like, okay, I like Batman and this.
Hence why Batman Beyond is a thing.
Batman Beyond, I hear people say that's not bad.
It's not terrible. It's just a very different representation of Batman.
Well, and I mean... For whoever wants it. I don't know that I would, because I'm not overly...
I mean, it still had the original Batman in it, but the whole point was that Batman became a passed-down
Well, and because he was old, I mean, it makes sense, but...
It kind of, I suppose.
Oh, okay, so I'm going in there. Is that it? Okay. Apparently we exterminated everyone anyways. Ow! What? Okay, I'm not dead. I thought those were actual, like, explosive mines, but they're just the flashy kind. But that probably means this was a trap that they're going to spring on me now. Are they going to jump me?
They're going to send Molester to jump your bones.
Apparently not. Well, so then what was the purpose of those? They were useless.
Just have Molester all of a sudden sneaking around the corner.
Oh, I thought that was a laser. I thought it is. Is it a laser?
It's just a plug.
Oh, why is it red?
It's those things that test how fast somebody's going coming down the stairs. Hey, Bill, slow down. That just clocked you at 10 kilometers per, I don't know.
There's another one, and I don't have any grenades, and he's coming right for me. He ain't gonna turn. Ah! Oh, okay, he doesn't come all the way down the hall. So, yeah, I was curious. I was like, well, what if I just find a good arc that focuses on Freeze? And basically people said that there are no real comic book arcs that focus on Freeze. There are now, but there weren't until... Basically, everyone says there were no comic arcs that focused on Freeze until the animated series made him more of an interesting character.
So credit to whoever that was.
I believe his name is Paul Dini or something like that. Apparently he wrote for Batman for a while, so he also wrote some of the comics that are about Freeze. Oh, this was a big guy! Well, that's awesome. I don't need your heavy ammo, though. Last time we had these guys, they took us a right hard time to get rid of, but I didn't even know it was him.
This wasn't even good.
I do not need that. It's taking up way too much room. So, unconfirmed, I would be all about it because, I mean, they handled Riddler in a way that made him actually interesting and... I mean, that's the other thing. I don't know that Freeze has ever been exactly scary. Because he's never posed a threat to average people because his whole thing was all about... most of his crimes aren't even violent. At least from what I understand. Because the whole point is the only reason he has even a criminal empire is just to make money. So that he can fund his own research.
Right.
So it's like, I don't think There's only 2 guys? 3 guys? 2 guys
I'm
here.
sad I never got to see as a physical Joker.
I'm going to sneeze.
Is Mark Hamill.
Well, I don't think he's ever played physical Joker. That's been the whole point. He's been animated the whole time.
He's been animated Joker the whole time, but...
I mean, well, actually, I was going to say Kevin Conroy never played Batman, but he did once. Not as... it was in whatever show killed Arrow. He was in that. Basically, he was in the Crisis on Infinite Earth show where he played like an alternate universe version of Bruce Wayne. And he did it for 1 episode. So I was going to say he never had either.
It's one of those...
They were voice actors on purpose.
Right.
It wasn't a fan mod.
Nod, I said.
Oh.
Like, it was a nod to the fans that recognized that's what it was without... I mean, yeah.
You're silly.
Apparently not, but...
Well, because I shot at him from over there, and then he never moved as I crawled along the banister, which you can see under, by the way. He should have at least been able to see my footsteps. So
just come up and just shoot right through the...
He had that coming. I'm hostile. Someone's hostile. Oh, well, get out of here. That was probably a waste of shotguns. Alright, we're doing alright. And we might... Get out. What? Oh, you can live. Wait, what? Oh, I need to be in that? Oh, no, this is where I gotta be. I gotta hack something while the computer watches me. Alright, I suppose we'll do this and then we'll call it. I need some more tea. Oh, boy. This doesn't look nice.
I'll have to maybe have you try some of my...
I'll be fine. We should do that for a while.
Stuff.
You should... What? We should go on a tea digest. Every week you could show me something new. Now that just made it real easy.
Wow. I have one that right now I haven't decided whether I really like it or not. It's very desserty.
I might like it. I'm a bit more of a sweet tooth.
It's a cranberry orange, and it's...
Perhaps you mean an orange. There's an A in that word.
What?
You said orange.
Orange, yes.
O-R-N-G.
I'm not going to say orange.
It's an orange. Not an orange. Oh, this is the boss room. Okay, so, I guess we'll catch up. Boingo knees! I get to determine, does the hologram Levy have boingo knees? We'll get the answer to that question, and then we'll sign off.
So you're saying, do all women have boingo knees at this point? Is that the question?
Just her. Because we talked about her, and then you made me wonder, and now I'm wondering.
We talked about her. When did we talk about her?
Because we met her. Remember, we met her in the office upstairs because she was a hologram.
Yeah,
then.
but so you're meaning we talked briefly about whether or not she had boingo knees.
You made the question about
well.
does she have boingo knees, and I couldn't see. No, I still can't see because the text box is in the way.
Ever since I realized what my interference had allowed, the day I started watching.
Why would we need a close-up on pixelated lips?
People would know.
Would they?
Oh, right, yeah, we're talking over this. We already discovered the fact that she's not a real person. She is the Hatsune Miku of news broadcasting. And we are evidently standing in her brain.
What if it isn't?
Then my program.
Which is weird. Although she seems to be physically able to touch us. No boingo knees!
It's a little eagle eye-ish.
Very clearly, those are not boingo knees.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be under her pants, but I'm not going to check there. I think I'll have to leave that to Maestro.
Tell me.